Hello all, welcome back to a lovely new morning. Last time we were here, we sort of finished off this neighborhood. Got some wheat fields, some house, some other house. So today we're going to be wandering straight across town and looking over here, right by this little library house. You can kind of see we've got this pig pen and it's sort of on its own in this area. We're going to actually plunk in a new building here. Right around here. So, don't know exactly where this is going to land, but we can sketch out a little bit like this and see how that does for us. And this is going to be some sort of butcher shop, I think. It's going to be right by the pig pen, which we'll do a little bit of renovation of. Be the keeper of the pigs. So, gonna do a little bit more sketching out, extrude this up into 3D, see what we can do with it.
Alright, so I've done a little bit of rough landscaping. Gonna leave this roundabout in place, but hoping to maybe wrap it around this way a little bit. Barricade this with some cliffery, I think. And what we have here is from this ground level down here up to this ground level right here, a 3-block gap, which is about 1 floor. That's on purpose. We started with 4 blocks, but I want to be able to have a little bit of a shop front of some sort right here-ish, and then the house kind of extending down, and then a little bit of an overhang off the roof maybe for some storage stuff. So we're going to want to start somewhere here. And I think since this is a shop front, pushing it up pretty far forward is a good idea. This is 6 blocks long right now, and what we've been doing so far is 5 blocks as a base length, which I think we want to continue with. I don't know exactly how long we want to let this be. But we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to start. We might want to push it a little bit further back this way. Not really sure. Maybe we can start with it like this. That's going to be 8 blocks, which is a little bit long, but we'll just leave the extra length and figure out what to do with it later. And then we're going to build up a box.
Okay, so we have that all laid out now, and it is very boxy right now, but we'll do a little bit of refining later. But I think one thing that we want to do right now is set up some model. Set up some model of a little archway where we kind of have a overhang on the roof coming out here. And this can be like a little shed area almost where they store whatever sorts of supplies they have for whatever sorts of supplies are involved in pig farming. And not entirely sure how to lay out the roof here. Probably want to stick with the same slope, but I don't know if we want it up at that height. But yeah, it's we'll fiddle with the positions and the dimensions a little bit, but I think that's pretty good delineation of the concept. And here we definitely want to add a little bit of a sort of bulged out section with a roof going the other way for the shop front, I think. And so we're going to punch some of that out and pop this in. And take this, I guess it would be, I guess the front would be here. And then take this shape and arch it up sort of like that. I've got the geometry a little bit janked up. Have an even number somehow. I think I've just put a slab in the wrong place. You can sort of see that we're going for a little archway here. So I'm going to try to put that in, I think. Alright, so I made a little bit of a counting error. We ended up with this 4-block width, but I actually like it. So yeah, I think we're going to keep that. You can kind of see up here the roof is a little bit janky. There's this like block sticking up like that, so I think we're going to want to move all of this roof downward. Then also over here, I'm considering futzing with this a little bit more. Okay, so did a lot of futzing around and ended up settling for this little spruce roof that's way shallower. Just wasn't really able to get the other slope to work. It was taking too much vertical space. Yeah, I think this is all right. All right, we've done a little bit of texturing over here on the path. Bit like what we've got going on over there, the coarse dirt as our base block. And building over here. And I'd also like to do even closer to what we've got going on over here and use some of that rooted dirt. We don't really have the supplies, so what we're going to be focusing instead is on this building and the texturing. I think we're going to do something like the same mangrove and terracotta palette that we had on the house from the previous episode. So we're going to plonk a little bit of that in, plonk a bit of that in, and see where it goes. Alright, here are the fruits of our labor. I think it looks decent, if maybe a little bit noisy. One thing is that brick there. It brings in a little bit of a different texture, but because it's being used in the roof already, I think it might not be a good look, so we can replace that with, I mean, we have a couple options, but we could just stick in some acacia. And that, I think that plugs up the spot pretty well. Still need to deal with the actual pig pen and the ground texturing, and the path and such. We do have a solid building all the way around. Another spot up here that I'm not quite sure about yet. And I think I might just leave this. Here I want to have some sort of like display where people can go up and, you know, talk to the butcher. Alright, so now that we've covered the base of the building, got to figure out the whole pig pen situation. I'm thinking we're going to have two pens, one big one around here, about the same place that this was before, and then somewhere back here, I think would be fun to do a smaller one, which is like where they slaughter the pigs. We can start maybe with a post over here and a post over here. And then we can say that this runs between those. And then on top of these posts, we need to cap it off with slabs, or otherwise they'll walk over them. But we can say we do something like that there, maybe a gate here, and we can mask a little bit of the sort of flatness and repetition here by leafing over it a bit. I don't know, something like that. So we can do something like this, and this gives it a little bit of curvature here. And you can see back here, it's should all be secure. And another consideration that we have here is what the ground texture is going to be. I'm thinking that within the pen here, we're going to be sticking with a pretty similar mixture to the path, or at least some sort of dirt mix. These guys have started showing up. I haven't had any for, I think, as long as I've been here, and then 2 in a row just right now, so I don't know what's going on. Alright, we have pretty much finished off our pig pen. We have some water, some food, and of course the pigs. Had to do some slightly janky stuff here to stop them from escaping. Might try changing this out for glass at or something like that at some point. But I think it looks okay for now. Did end up making a big path section. And then over here, left a little bit of a roof section and some storage. Might add a little bit to this. Again, one of the big weaknesses of this all right now is that we don't have rooted dirt. So I've mixed in a little bit of regular dirt, but we're going to be, I can't do that on the narrow paths because the grass will spread in. And all in all, we're just going to need to do a big texture pass on this all. But hopefully it looks okay now. We also have a little bit of our second section, and I'm not sure how we want to set this up. We might want to fence it off a little bit more. But right now we have a little bit of a different task, because you can kind of see over here. We've got a very special item back here. So I think this is where we're going to be sticking our nether portal, actually. You'll see in a little bit why that is where it is. Okay. We've got a lot of fluff. I'm not sure that we're going to have a lot of fun traversing the area around here. Oh dear. I'm not sure if this is somewhere I want to be. Maybe we can grab some goodies, or maybe we'll just meet our untimely end. That's looking like untimely end right there. Hey, buddy. Oh, can we reach? We can't quite reach. Isn't that awkward? Maybe if we go down here a little bit. So I think our best weapons here are going to be some boats and some lava. Because I do not have the swordsmanship to take these lads on in a fair fight, I don't think. Okay. So there we have some goodies. Got some pork. Look at that. Bones will be nice. Arrows. Golden apple. All sorts of fun goodies. Ooh. It's a good bit of iron too. So I think popping on one piece of gold might be good. I don't think it's going to protect us a lot here because we're going to be fighting people. Oh my gosh. I will take my paws right onto that, I tell you. Ooh, oh my gosh. Pig step. Now that we've hidden away our newfound valuables, might want to do a little bit more poking around in the base of this thing, but our main priority is going to be doing some exploration in the nether. Oh dear. Please don't see me. Please don't see me. He saw me. Bang. What? Oh, wait, that's how you get that? Interesting. Yo! Is it always? Oh, okay. But anyway, I think we've found exactly what we're looking for. This biome is going... Ooh, and we have that one. Again, we're not necessarily going to be exploring the blue forest today. Alright, now we've laddered up pretty much straight over our portal. And I found this block. You can see right here, that number. Lost it now because we're falling down the ladder. But that one says 127. That's exactly what we want. We just click right here. Should be able to wander straight up. So now, this is the same block, and we're going to want to mark that. Actually, what we want to put on it is piston. Alright, I got my single TNT and double TNT layouts a little bit mixed up. But we've got something a little bit like this, which is a variant of rather ancient design that may or may not still work. We've got our right click bound to space, so we press and hold, it goes very, very fast, which is exactly what we want. So we're going to stand here, shift click, and spam our space right click to try to place a piston down here. Before that, we've got to light the TNT, so we're just going to hope it works. And I think that means it did? It did not. Alright. Done a lot more preparation this time. Got enough for 6 TNT. We're gonna take 2. Okay, so we are not going to cheap out this time. We're using a proper setup. I believe this is one of the ones that should be 100% reliable if I don't screw it up myself. That's not ideal. Oh, it's not even all gone. Oh, thank God. No! Oh my God. It worked. Alright. So y'all might have pieced together by now what we're up to. We're gonna be making a hoglin farm. The reason for it is pretty simple, and it's that I don't like this bread stuff very much. And it's really obnoxious to have to keep running around, starving, not having enough food, and I'm tired of it, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. So we're not going to deal with it, because we're going to eat pork the rest of our lives. I have some various plans for the resource gathering, and we've already done what may end up being the hardest stage, which is getting up to the nether roof. The bedrock breaking. Oh my gosh. It went so wrong. So many times. It went wrong like 3 times? 4 times? I ended up having to just load a backup a couple times because it was like, why isn't this working? And it turns out that the usually completely reliable method, as far as I can tell, it's locational, which, like, TNT stuff is locational, so that makes sense. But, like, man, that was still a time. Be grabbing some of these funguses, and also going to be grabbing some of this wood. So this is right about where we want to be. You can see right there, block 172. Is that good? Yep, right here. This is where we're gonna be putting the first platform. So we've got a little bit of stuff. Make a chest, throw some of this trash, and we're going to be starting with some sort of warped stem, I think. We're gonna run this across here. And this is gonna be a little bit expensive, but I think it looks nice. And we're gonna go 15 blocks long. So we're gonna use 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna strip all over this. And we're gonna cover it all in buttons. We're going to go make a 2-block gap in here, because that's where the hoglins are going to fall through. And then go back. I'm going to do 6 blocks. And then I want to fill this a whole platform out here with the edge lined in these square tough bricks, and the middle just all filled in with the regular tough slabs. It's going to look something like this. Then we're going to add a load of trapdoors. So we have one here and one here. And this is what they're going to try to walk across. Then we add one more, and that's going to block them so that they can't get through. And we open these so that they fall through. So this all is going to get lined down the path. Then also, we need to make sure that piglins don't spawn. And to do that, you need to bring this up to light level more than 11. So if you see here, torches only give out 14. So level 12 is right here, diagonal. So what we're going to need to do is every 3 blocks, right like this, we've got to spatter torches all over this platform. You can see now we have one full spawn platform. How it works is the hoglins spawn here. They're not sensitive to light level, and we're gonna put right here and here and here a couple of warped funguses, and they really don't like those. Don't have any with us right now, but we'll put those in later. They'll be fast. They're going to run away. And the way their pathfinding works is they're not that smart. They're not that good at, like, finding the furthest place away or the most sensible place to run. They just kind of pick a block and bolt there. And furthermore, they target to specifically solid blocks. So these have a solid top. They can spawn mobs, but they don't count as a solid block for certain pathfinding things. These are going to be, aside from the dirt we're going to put the mushrooms on, pretty much the only solid block. So if they want to run anywhere, it's got to be straight in this direction. And sometimes they'll go kind of diagonally, but they're still going to be more or less running straight out here. So that's pretty much the whole thing, and we just need to throw on a couple more layers here. Up at the top here, we're gonna do something a little bit special. We've, I believe, got 6 layers in, which is as many as I can be bothered to do. So we're gonna top it off with one more layer of trapdoors, and we could put them straight on top of here, but for consistency, I'm gonna hover them up another block. Doesn't matter which way they're, whether they're at the top or bottom of the block on any of these. As far as I know, the pathfinding doesn't distinguish between them. And then we're also going to want to add a couple of spacers or blocks to make sure that we don't have any ghasts spawning. And ghasts are pretty big, so for it to spawn here at the edge, it needs to have all the way to here cleared out. And I think we can do something to even make it a little bit more disguised by just leaving a couple of fence gates here. And these are still gonna be big enough that it's gonna block gas spawns. It doesn't really need to block anything else. We have I don't think magma cubes spawn here. So we should be able to just leave a line of these way up in the sky, and they're not gonna be in the way of anything. There's a couple more pieces that are going to come into play down here. One of them is the collection system down there, which we'll deal with later. But then also right down here, we're going to have a little flame blade. Okay, so this should be the center block. So we should be able to pop that out and pop this in, and we're gonna see if we missed any fence gates. And that's looking good, except that one there isn't flipped, which is probably gonna be an issue. Stuff is gonna land on that. Oh, that's actually difficult to reach. Okay, there we go. So, put that back, flip that open, that, and our lava blade should be all working. Okay, we're gonna try to get a little bit more of a platform, try to build up a little stock of pork down there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Fabulously wealthy. Oh my gosh. It's all been worth it. You can see here, we have at least half a chest of pork. So we can, and we probably will, create a proper collection system down here. But for the time being, this is, I think, reasonable for our level of need and level of technology right now. Alright guys, we are back home and about ready to wrap it up for today. Got the pig pen, the storage area down here. There's a whole place going on. We didn't quite get around to gathering more rooted dirt because I ended up spending quite a while with that whole nether roof debacle. You can see up here, we now have access to as much food as we could want. Right here for the taken, which is going to be lovely. You have a good night, Georgie. Have a munchie? Oh, yeah, have a munchie. Frankie, have a munchie. Oh, yeah, have a munchie. Got good treats today. And with that, gonna be off to bed.